4 top tips, my 4 top tips for dropping body fat. All right, I say body fat, don't say weight, say body fat. You know, they're 2 separate things. I think there's another video in that anyway. But yeah, so my 4 top tips for dropping body fat. Now, in no particular order. First up is sleep. Now, sleep is vitally important. Now, to go straight into it, the reason why sleep is important is the lack of sleep that you have. So the less sleep that you have, the body will produce less of a hormone called leptin. And leptin tells you when to stop eating, when you're full. So the more tired we are, the less leptin the body will produce. Therefore, as you all know, you would probably consume more calories. Also, the more tired we are, the less movement we do. So we will move less, so then we're burning less calories. And then mood. We all know what it's like when it's mega tired. You know, do we still want to be going to the gym when we're knackered? Probably not. So, you know, there's probably a whole host of other reasons why, but those are the top 3. But yeah, sleep's vitally important. So make sure we're getting enough. Ideally, 7 to 9 hours of sleep. All right, now, it isn't about the length of sleep. It's about the quality of the sleep. So you can get trackers and stuff to track. Now, I've not actually looked into them, so I don't know how accurate they are, but you can get trackers to track your sleep, but quality of sleep is better than length. So you're better off having a shorter sleep, quality sleep, than a longer, poor sleep. In order to help with our sleep quality, blue light, so mobile phones and TVs and all that kind of stuff. How many of you check your phone just as you're going to sleep? Me. Let's try and cut that out as much as we can. That will allow us to calm down a lot more before we go to sleep. Caffeine. There are a lot of caffeine drinkers out there. Now, caffeine has like a half-life kind of thing, and roughly half of the caffeine will come out of the body every hour, I think it is. So ideally, 4 to 6 hours before you go to sleep should be your last cup of coffee. You can become a non-responder to coffee, so if you drink a lot of it, you might be perfectly fine. But if you're not a regular drinker, then 4 to 6 hours before you go to sleep, knock it on the head. All right, environment as well. Make sure your environment is nice. Comfy bed, you know, well ventilated, it's quiet, it's dark. Again, all this is easier said than done, you know, especially if you've got kids or depending on what working hours you've got and all that kind of stuff. But just try your best to get everything in order so your sleep can improve. All right, so number 2, calorie deficit. Now, if we aren't eating in a calorie deficit, we aren't going to get any results whatsoever. So nutrition is key. So we need to make sure we're consuming less than what we're burning throughout the course of the day. So if we can make sure, whether that's through calorie tracking, which I would recommend, get a load of free apps that do it, but calorie track, you can have a start point. If you're not losing weight, you know you need to eat a little bit less. You know, if you're putting weight on, you know you need to obviously drop calories in order to get into that calorie deficit. But the calorie deficit is key when it comes to dropping body fat. Now, a well-balanced diet, you know, so make sure we've got plenty of protein in there, you know, good sources of carbohydrates and all that kind of stuff. That's great, but don't remove the foods that you love. So, you know, a lot of people say, I'm not eating chocolate, I'm not drinking alcohol, I'm not doing this, that and the other. You still need that kind of stuff. You're better off having a slower drop in body fat than a quick one. That way you can still consume this nice stuff and, you know, the results will come and you're more likely to be consistent and stay on it moving forward. So calorie deficit is key. Third, NEAT. Non-exercise activity thermogenesis. That's all of the non-planned exercise. So we burn a hell of a lot of calories when we're moving around, whether that be walking. You know, let's try and get our steps in. Let's be a little bit more proactive when we're out and about. So let's use the stairs instead of the lift. Let's get in the garden. Let's do the housework, play with the kids. You know, all that kind of stuff. It accumulates a lot, you know, in terms of how much energy we expend by just moving. So non-exercise activity thermogenesis as well. So non-planned activity. So let's get out there and move. should be moving anyway. So yeah, let's get on our feet a little bit more. Even if we take the bus, we've got to walk to the bus stop, you know. Let's go to Asda, get our shopping done and all that kind of stuff. So neat. So yeah, let's move as much as we can. And then finally, setting goals. You know, a lot of people start without a goal, and sometimes that can be a bit of a negative. Not necessarily, not in everyone's case, but I think for everybody, setting a goal is a good way of becoming accountable for what it is that you're trying to achieve. The goal can be anything: fat loss, you know, improve cardio, fitness, strength, whatever it is. But you set yourself a goal. Now, ideally, you set a big whopping goal. But what's also important is to set small goals in between that as well. You know, it's disheartening when you've got this big goal to hit and you're 6 weeks into training and you're miles away from it. It is disheartening, and more often than not, it will just put you in a bit of a negative state, and you might stop training, or you might stop eating well, or whatever else. So small goals in between, but leading up to your big goal. I don't know if you've ever seen an illustration of a set of ladders, and there's big steps on one ladder and no one can climb it, and then there's little steps on the other, and everyone's going up and up and up as quickly as they can because they've got these little steps, these little goals that they keep ticking off. There's nothing better than ticking off a goal. I've done that, bang. Keeps you more accountable, keeps you more consistent, and will keep you on track. So those are my 4 top tips. I've not mentioned exercise in there, mainly because the calories we do burn from exercise compared to everything else is quite low. We need to shift our focus from fat loss and exercise to health and exercise. So we should be using exercise. Yes, it will aid fat loss, but as a primary function, we should be looking at health. So the reasons why we're doing it to improve our cardiovascular fitness, improve or maintain our strength, social aspects, you know, mental health, that kind of stuff. We need to look at it more as a health benefit than just a tool for fat loss. So that's why exercise is not involved. So yeah, those are my 4 top tips. If anyone has any questions, then let me know.